Cameroon to solve its problems?
Thank you, Mr. Leo. You see, when I listen to some people talk here, I ask myself whether this Anglophone problem just erupted yesterday night. You see, we should not forget that when this problem erupted, the world was watching. They allowed Cameroon time to solve the problem. What did we do? We opted for the military solution. And the US government said, you cannot win that conflict through the use of arms. I remember Tipo Nagy hammering this point. You cannot win this thing. It can't be solved by the use of arms. Now, after the major national dialogue, made the European Union, the African Union asked the government, okay, implement the resolutions. And I remember having said that the government should be given a chance to implement those resolutions so that we can prove that the special status is an empty vessel. Now look at what we are getting. You are given the opportunity to solve what you call an internal problem. First of all, you resort to arms. It fails. You go now to Connie talk. It doesn't work. You come up with empty vessel to which you give loud sounding names. It does not work. Because of all these failures, the Norwegian Refugee Council cried that the Southern Cameroon's conflict was the most underreported conflict in the world.
Most neglected.
Yeah, underreported and neglected in the world. That is what gave rise to the CDN. The CDN was born because this conflict was the most neglected and unreported. I am very sure when I talk here about historical facts, people look at me, they say, where are this from? Look, this is the work of the CDN. It is thanks to the CDN that people know that Southern Cameroon had a constitution. It is thanks to CDN that people know that on independence, Southern Cameroon had 3 international airports. Bismarck having 4 tracks. 4 landing tracks. Douala has 1. Bismarck Airport, 1961, had 4. Thanks to CDN. It is thanks to CDN that the US Congress had a documentation that was prepared for 6 months that enabled it to pass that resolution 684.
Yeah, but other persons will say they did say that. Okay.
No. Nobody will tell you they did say, because CDN has produced a big documentation. You heard what Dr. Nick said. When the negotiation will come, the problem will be between the separatists who are... No, sir. Everything has been taken care of, sir. We have done a great deal of work. If negotiations were to start, your fears will be swept away, sir. Experts have worked for 6 months. It is thanks to that negotiation, that documentation, that the Americans called on their partners. And you saw Canada. After America, Canada followed. And now England, for the first time, refers to Northwest Southwest as Southern Cameroon for the first time. So Germany, you had a German parliamentarian who came out and is a member of the CDN. France, Nadot, is Nadot not a Frenchman? Isn't a French parliamentarian? He is a member of CDN. Now, are you telling me that we should sit quiet and allow you to continue killing yourselves? The world has been watching you. They give you the opportunity to solve the problem. You decide to continue killing yourselves. And when they want to help you now to solve the problem, you say, no, leave us alone. We can solve. What can you solve?
Yeah, but
you have been killing yourselves. You have been using Connie. You cannot talk straight. You cannot solve anything. That is the reason why we are asking the international community to help us to solve our problem. We are not asking for military intervention. Please look at those. Look at what is asking.
Now we are going to go through them.
Nobody is asking for military intervention. Help us to sit together and talk, because, like you read somewhere there, we cannot hold any meeting in Cameroon. We know what will happen now. They will ban the hall. There will be no meeting. Let us go to a neutral venue. Sit in a neutral venue where nobody will influence the other. Don't come and threaten people with arrest.
Who banned the meeting? One meeting would be banned.
With all due respect to his memory, Cardinal Tumi, you saw the effort he made to come up with an all-Anglophone conference, to an Anglophone general conference.
Is it the Anglophone general conference that you want to take place?
You saw how Tumi suffered. He wanted Anglophones to sit together and come up with solutions. Who banned it? Was it to me? It was the government. We should face facts.
Yeah, but
he talked of from Mukete, who wanted the chiefs to come together. Who banned it? The government. So you want to rely on that very government that they will come now and organize a neutral meeting with the separatists to allow things to be solved? Let me tell you, until everybody who is in the bushes surrenders, the government will not let go. And the president keeps telling the fighters, drop your weapons.
Yeah,
drop
but
your weapons.
what,
so don't think
yeah,
that this government will ever sit to say, please.
Senior Barrister, you are raising a point. You say that you don't want to see people die, and that the international community has given, has observed the government to solve the problem,
of the government.
and seemingly the government does not want to do so. And you think that the international community should step in. Do you have the impression that they are interested in stepping in?
Why not?
But so why are you calling them? If they had interest, why are you calling them to come in?
Contrary to what people were saying here, we have the US that has legiferated, has passed a legislation. Resolution 684, that's a legislation on Cameroon. We've never seen that in any part of the world. Canada has followed suit. Germany is on the road. Britain has had, we all watch what is happening. So the momentum is building, sir. We should not feel that nothing is being done. It is building.
You want talks with separatists, and you've come up with a list of 83 names. We understand what happened with the Swiss-led initiative. Not everybody endorsed it. We also understand that during the last CDN meeting in Canada, not all of the separatists endorsed it, as well as the Tumis initiative for all Anglophones to come together. Not all the Anglophones actually endorsed it. When it was announced that government was opening talks with Ayuk Tabe, we saw how that news was fought even from within the camp of the separatists. How are you sure that these guys that you have named in this list are ready to work together today?
Mr. Kum, this list of 83 does resolve that problem. The problem has been that when they are going to Swiss, only some persons are choosing to go to Swiss. When they are going to the CDN, only some persons are choosing to go to the CDN. When they want to talk with Ayok Tabe, Siseko, Chris Anu and Sako comes out and say Ayok Tabe has been impeached. So in this list now, you have all of them, and everyone ought to be treated on equal status, and the government of the country has to know that everybody has to be treated as equal, because as it stands, no one outside here in the diaspora is actually either a leader of the people on the ground, except the people who are in jail that we know, Mancho BBC and Julius Ayuk, are the persons who are the leaders, but they are in jail. So these people outside here, there is a struggle for that vacuum of leadership, and everybody wants to take credit. You know, everybody wants to show that my organization is the most supreme. So if we allow this to keep on going in the diaspora, there will be endless confusion, and the calamity on the ground will continue. So the only thing we have to do is let us give all of them a listening ear, bring all of them together without discrimination, and tell them that this is the moment for you people. It's a challenge for you people now to put up a statement. All of you, if possible, narrow down the list or add to the list and indicate your willingness, a joint statement by all of them that we are willing to get into a pre-talks and a summarily talks that will solve this problem once and for all. And the government side, I can only advise on the government side. I'm not giving instructions to the government. I'm begging and advising that the government has begun a very positive initiative whereby the Prime Minister went on air and announced that the head of state has asked him to do a stock taking of the resolutions of the Grand National Dialogue. So this is a very golden opportunity, because while doing the stock taking of the Grand National Dialogue, we could do an addendum to the Grand National Dialogue. Like if you wrote a book and you went and discovered that that book is missing some chapters, you can still write an addendum to that book. It doesn't mean that the Grand National Dialogue ended, because even at the closure of the Grand National Dialogue, it was stated that the dialogue will continue after the Grand National Dialogue. The dialogue will continue. And this can still be an extension or an addendum of the missing pages of the book that was written. So, getting into free talks with all these 83 persons, after having sampled their opinions, because their opinion is being sampled right now by Pan Cameroon Congress, in the sense that we wanted to come out with a statement endorsing at this time that they are ready for a genuine discussion or a genuine dialogue or a genuine extension of the Grand National Dialogue, with them being inclusive to conclude on the missing pages of the Grand National Dialogue. Because if this is done, this will mean a shortcut to resolving this problem. Then on the government side, if that statement should come out separately, saying that this is a good move, because in this move, none of them have been sidelined. Ayaba is there, Yerima is there, Bo Habet is there, Akwanga is there, Seseko Julius is there, Mancho BPC is there. If a joint statement can be said, we are ready, and this is the venue we are proposing for the pre-talks. At the pre-talks, we are going to discuss on where the final talks will take place. They can decide that time to keep the members of the one Congress away, keep them away, or don't listen to us anymore. So far as we have completed our mission, that the two sides are now something positive, they come out to write up the missing pages of the Grand National Dialogue. Then the one Cameroon Congress must have fulfilled its duty. Thank you.
Okay. Now, how do you want our government to discuss with separatists who says? Now, are you very, very convinced that backdoor negotiations are not going on?
I beg your pardon, can you come again?
I'm asking that you want everybody to get to the table with the lists of the names that you just published, writing to the President of the Republic. Are you very sure that backdoor negotiations are not on as we speak also?
Not this kind. Not this kind. Because let me tell you, anything that takes place with one particular branch or one selected few does not resolve the problem. We know the magnitude of the problem. We have studied this crisis for close to 6 years, and we know the magnitude of the problem. The key problem is that the government of Cameroon has been embarking on a military option, and the military option is not going to 100% resolve the problem, because the military option is expensive, costly, at the detriment of human life, whereas there is a shortcut that this problem will be resolved. And if anybody is holding talks with anyone, these talks does not affect the other camps, because there are many camps amongst these people out here. And these camps, one will disagree with the other at the end of the day. So what will happen is, we want something that will be transparent, something that will be open to all, something that will give a long-lasting solution, not a cosmetic solution, Mr. Kum.
Okay, now you've written to the President of the Republic, and have you written to the separatists themselves?
Mr. Kum, everything that was done by the One Cameroon Congress was officially submitted to the presidency of the Republic. I'm the president, and we have about 50 members who are leaders of the separatist side and fighters and ex-fighters and combatants. And the president is myself. The secretary general is Dr. Success Kongo, and we have a chairman who is Mr. Madiba and Mr. Madiba Tama. And you should know that when we wrote this letter, we are not doing things in hiding, Because what you do in hiding, it means maybe you have been motivated or being acting under influence of somebody after receiving an envelope whatsoever. No, we did not do that way. And it was not meant to be a secret letter, because the Prime Minister was copied, and also the various groups of the separatist side were also alerted immediately about our existence and this letter and what we are up to. So there's almost every leader, even up to Ayub Tabe in jail, John Ba Akoro, everyone have received a copy of this letter. We have already gotten some reactions about the letter. Yeah, that most people have welcomed the letter and said this is the kind of thing they have been waiting for so long. And God bless. I even saw some men of God release I heard some audios released by men of God saying that this is a golden opportunity, that God should bless us for this initiative, and that they pray that this initiative should not come and die down like the others that have come up, because many other initiatives have come up. But I think the other initiatives did not consider all the separatist leaders on the same, placing them on the same level and bringing the people in jail together in it, including those of the Coffin Revolution and those of the Era 10. So I think this is going to be something that we wait to see the reaction by a joint statement. We want a joint statement by all those who are in that list. A joint statement, not a separate statement individually.
Coming back to you, how would you describe Nambere's situation? He has worked with the separatists. He's not in their good books. He came over to the government here, and many thoughts, beliefs that they could work with him to normalize issues, like you said earlier on, that the government's effort is to bring peace. Today, how would you situate him? Is between the fire and the sea and the ocean?
Yes, I think that the Nambere situation, from the beginning, even when he had not yet laid his arms, I was watching some of his videos in terms of color propaganda videos. And if I look at the situation now, I just know that he is more of an opportunist, which means that taking advantage of situations at hand to sail through, which is always dangerous if you have those kind of persons around you. As I said earlier, that if I look at the move with Nambere, I think I'll cue with Susi Praku says you have to eat with him with a very long spoon, because somebody who's unpredictable, you can even tell him, please just leave your arms for now. Just tomorrow he starts saying that you wait. One who said this and that. You know, it's like a woman who gossips. So if you can't keep secrets around you, and what is preoccupying, I must be able to be honest. You want to listen very well. I would employ the ministry's concern to rethink on the approach for those at the DTR centers. Because when these videos begin to go out, it might cause another form of radicalization and another thought in their minds. Me, I leave my gun. They not give me money, so I don't leave the gun. They give you 25 million or whatever the case might be. It means we'll be fool. You know, these things can start triggering in their minds. And when it starts triggering, you never can tell what might happen in the guys who are there in the next long run. It means that there should be a fast move from the regime to get back to the guys in the various centers to get things in order, because this is already a fast radicalization we are getting here. It means that it's like somebody say, Sagat. See, I don't want to give me money. All right. Ma told if you talk better, I spoil any my offers come over there under my name, follow me for coverage, me run going, me otis spoil. So you can see it's a mentality that is, if I am not the one eating, then better all of us should perish in the boat. And so it's very difficult, and I think that the regime watching us should not take these things for granted. But as I said, I understand there was a network. If you go to Njian, we had another network built there. That one was a network built up by some traditional rulers. They understand what I'm talking. I don't want to dive into those things in Italy. In which case, many of them moved to areas, had to present this is one, collected something to come and drop somewhere, that is an ex-Amber fighter. So the mechanism the government used, which means it kills the patriotic tendency from square one. That if you drop your arm, I pay you. So some traditional rulers who also entered the network could move to their villages, convince you come out, and they drop you somewhere, and they went somewhere and collected their money. You can now see that it was selling patriotism for money. That is the consequence we're finding here now. So the network and the mechanism foundation, because it was wrong, I think that the government should now get to think that if you want to get next combatants, you should be able to use a different form of communication to them. So all those who are at the forefront of that network, that most of us know them, should now be thinking of another strategy, so that we had viral videos, even at the level of Bafusa somewhere. When I can't start for here, oh, can we see una? Someone can't take una go, and then they will do this. It's not today, Mr. Leo. I hope you once got about that. I don't want to call names because we know people who have eaten fat. I tell you that while some people are dying, others are making huge financial gains from the particular scenario. And that's why when you host a program sometime, who are those who don't want the war to stop? These are the kind of persons. Because they want it to go on and on, so they can be requesting. Each time they eat 25 million is finished, or 10 million is over, they start intimidating, maybe a government official. They say, if you know that I have your record. I have your record in my phone here. If you don't do this to me, you the G or you the minister, I will send it viral. So the man will hurry and go and send 2-3 million. And the man is sending, that kind of person will keep on demanding until the kingdom come. It's like a man who cheats on his wife, who goes somewhere after cheating on the wife, the concubine tells you, if you don't give me money again, I can't tell a woman. Now you keep giving. A day will come, tell him that I can't tell a woman. No, get up in the morning and tell her, why that, Mama, I will cheat on you. I'll be sorry. So the day the woman is coming, she will only come to receive beatings from the wife, because the wife already narrated the entire ordeal and you pleaded for forgiveness. Also, so now when the wife is coming, you tell me, Madam, your mother says to me, the wife will get you well beaten and it ends the show. If not, the whole scenario will continue. This is number coming out. We don't know. Some other person will take advantage of this. You'll get the point. I can get the one money, I get another viral video. Then I spoke with this minister, I spoke with this director, and he gave me money and all the like. So many persons can be implicated in this trash we're getting here. And so it is time for the government to sit up and call a spade a spade. But I think that promises that are made constitute this problem. Mr. Leo, you cannot tell me that a man who is a bike rider, who used to get 2.5 per day, and sometimes he will even struggle a day under sun and rain, I will not even get that 2.5. And then, out of a sudden, the same person who used to have 2,250 per day now is in the bush with a gun and could get somebody. He could get maybe Leona, or can get me, and then he gets millions. And you tell him that from his 2.5 now to a millionaire in the bush, that he can kidnap and get money. They get the one man and tell him that no, leave that gun, we'll give you 50 million. He now knows that there's something good coming more than what he was getting in the bush. Now, you did not preach patriotism to him, you said preach money to him. Now, most of them, that was what caused the strike and the subsequent strike action, or the would-be strike actions in the first GDR center. Because many who come say, so the bring me fed I can't rent a pig. How long would the pig take to grow? It means that they had given money in his head. Now he's looking at, it has to take months for pigs to grow. Chicken will take you about 4-5 months. After serious feeding, which will say one chicken 2.5. But in the bush there, he could just sit and get 3 million, 4 million in his account. So these are the things that I said, the foundation that was built in getting these guys out is what is backfiring already. Government needs to retain. If not, they too are heading towards another kangaroo inclination.
No. Yes, Padi Asanga. Now, you think that according to you, I was supposed to ask just one question: who is benefiting from the crisis that is causing it not to be stopped? Now, ask that question to you now: who is benefiting from it? People like you now.
Yeah, you could say that scavengers like myself who are sitting here in the diaspora and running for basket now, they are benefiting from it. That is a legitimate claim. Because I would tell you that I am a militant of the Social Democratic Front, and I would not have been running in the mouth fighting for one Cameroon if people did not pick up arms. So if you want to weigh it one way or the other, you could also say that people like Yasanga are benefiting from it. But I have listened to Mr. Njikam saying that people should resign. I don't know his job. I don't know if he's a civil servant. I don't know where he's working. Maybe if he resigns from his position, whatever he's doing, in solidarity with the ambazonians, then hope they are gone independent become. Because we are talking of individual. So
those who have to resign. No, not said civil servants. I've mentioned the names, the portfolio of people to resign.
Mr. Njika, let him develop his point.
No, you should not say I should. You don't know what I do.
Are you going to pay them? People who have built their careers for so many years, you want to tell them to resign because you have sent boys into the bushes, and out of 6 years, you hijack a cooperative movement, and then you give arms to banga smokers, and you start telling people to resign. You to resign is a sign of solidarity in what you are doing, no matter in which domain you are. That's what I've been saying for many years, Mr. Njikam. Are you getting me? Please.
What are you saying, even? What are you saying? What do you think you are saying?
Paddy Asanga, can you now answer my question? Who is benefiting
Answer the question.
from this? No, please.
What is he saying?
Paddy, please.
Yes. Leo, I would plan the decoration. You know, I don't have a lead in front of my mouth. You understand? You cannot expect somebody who has blood on his hands to say that he will give up. What will he do? He will amass as much wealth as he can and run to Nigeria or to Ghana or to Dubai. You will not expect somebody who is living like me in the diaspora who is paying his mortgages from GoFundMes, from my trip to Boya, my trip to DLM, World Draft, and so on, to tell you that he will give up, he will stop the crisis. You will not expect a brigade commander. I told you this thing in 2017, that he will tell you that this crisis, they will come and put in fake reports in Burundi and tell you that this is the solution because we have refused. Leo, answer me this question. Why do you think that they change the brigadier generals in the northwest and south? Why was all that necessary if things were working well? Because it was a business. I know on your platform you don't want me to call it, but I will paint the scenario for you to understand what is happening. Because you cannot tell me that you heard audios where military personnel were complaining that they were going to get people and they stopped them. Then you also have audios where fighters or generals, how many, about 2,000 Amba generals, they told you that we have every information, we know that they are coming, and then we are monitoring them, we know when their convoy is arriving, and then they plant bombs and all sorts of crazy stuff. Those are the people who are benefiting from the situation. You will not expect somebody who has never had a job in Europe to say that he is conceding something. Do you think that they told you that this thing is going to last for 30 years? Is it Paddy who said it? Yo, please. That's rhetorical. Is it Paddy who said it? And what do you expect somebody who has a business concept for 30 years to do? To tell you that all of a sudden you come and be clapped. Yo, I have repented. People have repented. People have followed the call of Cardinal Christian Cardinal to me, and the ultimate is going to happen. There's going to be a coalition of women, and you understand that I have been on all fronts, and I also think that at this point, Anglophone should work with a coalition of willing. I don't know how much power the Prime Minister John Gute has to convene Anglophones, bring everybody of every walk of life on the of opinion to come and sit down and in the light of an Anglophone general conference. Because you also want, it is an open secret that I was there at the Prime Minister's office last week, where we sat there, and the only advantage, the only thing I saw from that meeting, contrary to national dialogue, that they were Anglophones talking to themselves, apart from Eugene Benambela, the Minister of Foreign Relations, and then Lele Lafri, and then Okala Bilai. But the rest were all Anglophone. Why do you think that I should boycott a meeting that Anglophones in their vast majority sit down and should talk to themselves? So that is the configuration of Christian Cardinal to me. And we also seriously think that if the Prime Minister, we know that the Prime Minister doesn't have a lot of power, but if he can use his political wisdom and bring Anglophones, even in a Zoom conference, Everybody will sit down, people like you, people like Jikam, people like Kings, and my friends who are here in the diaspora, to sit down and air out their opinions, articulate their aspirations, because one thing is very clear, there is no thing that is going to exist like ambazonia. We can obtain something that we can obtain. We can obtain it politically and collectively. So we have to build that political capital that starts from 2016 from the consortium, because every single Anglophone was listening to the consortium. If you ask them today, they will tell you that there is an arm wing of the consortium and there is a civil wing of the consortium. So we have to look at things from those dimensions. I don't want to get into infighting, fight anybody on your platform, but I think the people who don't want these things to end are people who have budget, and they are also people who are sitting here in the diaspora collecting money, and boys and girls who have never had jobs, and kidnapping for ransom has been a very lucrative business. It is not for people. Ayabacho told you that they have turned up to petty criminals. Ebenezer also told you that. Sako and Chris Anu with Barrister Fujon, so they came and told you that this boy, Alaji, was a strong criminal in Tanka, and when they killed some of the Ambazonia boys, they celebrated and so on and so on. We Anglophones, we have to look for a way, and this time around, we have to use reason and not emotion. I think I would answer your question. Thank you.